What's going on, everybody? This is a recap of my Sinister Cup that I did down in Houston on the 20th. Hop right into round one against Leia Baker. Had a pretty standard team. That Raichu was a little bit off, but it's a solid pick. Just happened to catch it with the Marowak. I was using Hex on it this tournament. Wanted to see how differently it used. It was supposed to Fire Spin, so this first matchup is pretty good because I'm doing super effective damage against the Alolan Raichu. I really don't have to worry about Thunder Punches too much. And obviously I can spam Bone Clubs or try to get the Shadow Ball off. Both do super effective damage. Doesn't shield the Shadow Ball, so it goes down. Both sitting at one shield apiece. Brings in the Drift Blim. Don't get to that second Shadow Ball. I'm not going to shield it. So he does go for Shadow Ball right off the bat. Probably could have gone for Ominous One unless they didn't have it. I don't remember. Get a bit of a window glitch to not get to that crunch. But it's fine. Get crunch here. Get the last shield, and then I get to my second crunch, which will take out the Drift Blim. And then with shields down, this is a really good matchup because I can go straight for Earthquake. I'm resisting the confusions, and I just get this last Earthquake. Boom, one-shot it, and that goes game one. This one I decided to lead with Drift Blim, so it's kind of a neutral matchup against this if they're running Ice Punch. So we're going to see. I get to the Ominous One first. Doesn't shield it. I'm just going to see if they have Ice Punch, which goes for Power Up Punch. So I'm feeling a little bit better about this matchup. And then there's the Ice Punch. So with this round, I did bring in Medicham just for this. So I get off a lot of damage real quick with these counters. Now they're doing more damage. He pulls it out with just a little bit of life left. Get off on the second Power Punch. So now my counters are really ramping up. Go ahead and switch into my Steelix, which like in the last match, Wall's Bronzong here. Go ahead and shield. Gets me there. I was expecting Bulldoze. I wasn't counting very well. So I get off this crunch, try to bait a shield. There it goes. And then just like the last time, I know I'll get the Earthquake. And then one-shot it. I'm expecting the Heavy Slam again, so it does hardly anything. Here goes the Earthquake, which will knock out Bronzong here again. And then Poliwrath had no health, so I get off a couple free hits basically. And there we go, get the Earthquake, which will one-shot this Alolan Marowak here. Boom. So that was game two. And then hopping into the third game for this first round. Dusclops versus Poliwrath. This just kind of depends on who wants to shield what. You don't have to shield the first few of anything really, but since he does have Power Up Punch, those bubbles are going to be doing a lot more damage. I kind of just was getting a little extra energy there. So I think I'll be able to do almost 2 back-to-back Shadow Punches here. Just an extra tap. And there goes his Poliwrath. Didn't use any shields. And then there's a Lola Marowak. He's running Hex on his as well. This is where you'd be kind of nice if you had like a Shadow Ball on Dusclops, but Shadow Punch just charges so fast. Overtap, which is kind of a theme for me in this tournament. Don't get off that last Shadow Punch. It's okay. Here comes Steelix, which we know he's running the Hex version instead of Fire Spin, so this is more favorable for us. Tiny bit of lag, but it's alright. I'm expecting a Shadow Ball, but he gets me with the Bone Club before I get off my crunch. There goes his last shield. And I'm thinking this is, yeah, the Bone Club wasn't going to do a whole lot. I could have gone for Earthquake. I don't know really why I didn't. But I guess Crunch was enough. And now I can go straight for Earthquake again. So, looks a lot like the ending of the first match and the second. Just Steelix coming in clutch. It's super powerful. So going into round 2, there is Homer J. So Homer J, I have never seen him around. I don't know if this was his first tournament down and just in Houston in general. But we start off the first game with a mirror match. See who's either going to shield or try to bait first. So I go straight for the Ominous Wind. Probably could have tapped 1 or 2 more times, but he does shield. So I'm going to go ahead and shield mine. So we know this is going to be Ominous Wind again. And it's enough to take mine out. I don't think he got the boost either. I don't remember seeing the animation for it. I do go ahead and get off this Ice Punch. So there goes his second shield. So we're all out of shields. He pulls out the Drifblim into Steelix. So there goes Dynamic Punch. Almost takes it down to nothing. I was trying to switch really quick, but I wasn't able to get it in time before you could get off this crunch. Then there is Poliwrath mirror match, which I didn't notice this at first. So I get off my Dynamic Punch, takes it down. That he's running Rock Smash, which I guess I was at low enough health for it to matter. So I'm just like, okay. And then he hits me with the Hydro Pump. Didn't see that coming, so I go down the first match to Homer J. And then we get this matchup, which is always fun, with Steelix versus Bastiodon. Kind of comes down to who shields and who falls for the bait. Build up to Earthquake. I know I can take at least 1 Flamethrower, if not 2, just because Smackdown does no damage. 2 Steelix, and I get off my crunch, get the shield, build up, only a couple taps, go for the Earthquake, seeing if he's going to go for it or not. And he does, so I get both shields on the Bastiodon, and I just have to shield here. I should outpace him to get to Earthquake. Which, just with its quad weakness to Earthquake, there goes Bastiodon. He brings out the Drifblim. I'm able to get to a crunch. Probably could have switched out like right away, but didn't really need to. Won't shield it. It should just only be Ominous Wind. So go into the mirror match. I get this window again. I'll go ahead and shield this just so I know I can keep my Drifblim alive. Now whatever comes in is going to get a Shadow Ball to the face. And it's his Poliwrath, who we know is using Rock Smash with Hydro Pump and Power Up Punch. So we're able to outpace him because Rock Smash's energy gain is bad. and get hit with the Ominous Wind to tie things up at 1 apiece. So lead Steelix into Steelix. It's fun times. Yeah, he had the double tank team. So we know this is going to be Crunch because we just got to Crunch. Not going to shield it. Building up a lot of energy. I go for the Crunch, hopefully get his shield. Doesn't shield it. So at this point, it could be an Earthquake, but it's not. So he gets me with the Crunch as well. And we go ahead and go for the Earthquake, hoping that he thinks it's another Crunch. Doesn't fool him. Just going to go ahead, let that Crunch go through. Kind of playing risky. Do a little bit of chip damage. I probably could have gotten to Earthquake again, but go ahead and burn that last shield. Not going to shield on this one. So I have a shield advantage. You bring in Medicham, just kind of get in the power up punch. So now I'm at a +1. Go ahead and take care of his Steelix. So I'm boosted. Go ahead and bring this. Boost up to the Psychic. So it does most of the damage, and I go ahead and switch in Driftblim to take this Ominous Wind. He switches out to Poliwrath, which we know, again, is running Rock Smash, which is double resisted, and Hydro, or the Power Punch and Hydro Pump. So we know we're going to be able to get to our charge moves way faster and not take that much damage back. So go ahead and shield this. Probably didn't need to this, and actually I kind of freaked out a little bit when I did this, because especially since I clicked on Shadow Ball, I was sure I was going to lose. I didn't mean to use my charge move. I was just going to farm it down, and then I get the boost at the end for no reason. Alright, so I'm going to hop into round 3 with against Chad Rules. I've played him before. He's pretty good. Has the Cresselia on his team and the Empoleon. So I was kind of thinking if I was going to see those or not. And we were actually on the live stream on this one, so that's kind of why I have this. I wasn't able to record my own footage. So I go Driftblim into his Poliwrath. Wasn't sure what moveset they were going to run, so he does lead Ice Punch. Beats me to it with the CMP. I got off the Ominous Wind. He switches out into Mawile, which is, terrible. But I'm able to counter it with my Poliwrath, and these power punches aren't going to do anything. Make his bite hurt a little more, obviously. I go ahead and hit with the Dynamic Punch. He either just said, okay, I'm not going to waste a shield on it, but lets it go. Brings in his own Poliwrath. Get off this other Dynamic Punch. Probably could have tried to bait a little bit and save some energy. Go ahead and shield because I am close to getting Dynamic Punch again. And I'm able to beat him to this charge move just barely. And it takes his down almost with a knockout range. And then he gets this off. I'm just going to let it go, keep my shield. There goes my Driftblim. I thought I had a little bit more health than that. So it's just Steelix, and as we saw in the previous rounds, I just have to go straight for the Earthquake because he doesn't have any shields left. And there goes the Marowak. So that was game 1. Steelix was MVP all the way for this tournament for the most part, especially in these first few rounds. And yeah, you see his team there. The Empoleon and Cresselia are something I didn't have to face too often. And even the Mawile. I know a lot of people had Mawile, just not a whole lot of the other players that I had to go up against. just with that in mind, I'm trying to figure out what I want to run. If I was running Fire Spin on my Marowak, it would have been a little easier to run it, but I didn't want to get eaten up by bites. So here I do catch his Mawile with my Medicham, so not a bad matchup. It's pretty good. Those bites still do quite a bit of damage after a while, but I'm able to power up punch it, ramp up my own damage, and still taking a while to get to that first power up punch on his side. So I switch out, don't want to take damage from that. Go ahead and lead in my Steelix to counter his Marowak. I don't guess right, and I take a Shadow Ball, which does about half from his. And I get him with the shield. I get the shield with the crunch. Going for another crunch. Go ahead and shield this, which I really didn't probably need to. It would have taken me pretty low, but I would have been able to get this crunch off beforehand. So I get both of his shields on his Marowak, but because I shielded earlier, I have a decent amount of health, and the Bone Club, I'm still alive after the Bone Club, and I'm able to get off the last crunch. So he double shields his Marowak, and it still goes down. And I get to see what other Pokemon he wants to bring back in, which is his Poliwrath. So now I have a boosted Medicham. He has no shields, and we just go for the Psychic. So he has almost full health and then has none. And then has just the Mawile left. I probably didn't even need to do this, but it's now boosted, so those bites, I mean, look how fast the health goes down. If I hadn't shielded that, it probably would have been pretty close to either knocked out or would have KO'd each other at the same time. But I still had another Pokemon alive, so I still would have won, but I just wanted to be safe. So mix the lineup up a little bit here, and he finally uses the Cresselia, and I just cap in the lead Dusclops, which is bulky and can take confusions, and I'm just going to kind of spam Shadow Punches at it until hopefully it dies. And it just is so weak, but nothing that Cresselia can do to Dusclops is going to kill it. And I'm going to be able to get off almost 2 Shadow Punches per Aurora Beam. And just kind of chip it down. So it's like critically low. On his side, I'm not going to shield it. Whatever I could bring in after this is just going to tap it down once. So I bring in Poliwrath. So he has to bring in Marowak. So I build up my energy and I switch out. Had him. I had the Shadow Ball timed perfectly, but he didn't use it. But I'm able to get to Crunch before he gets off a charge move. And then here comes the Shadow Ball, so I do want to shield it this time. So he gets off another one because he had all that energy stored up. So it takes me down to half, and then I'm going to be able to get to this Crunch again, which is, he's really low. Probably didn't need to shield it there. Probably should have saved his shield for another time, but he had all the energy stored up and he wanted to use it. I don't blame him. But I'm able to get off 2 more Dragon Tails. Almost gets the Crunch again. 1 bubble is enough to take out his Marowak, and then here I got Steelix to face. Dynamic Punch, and then I already have another Dynamic Punch ready to go. So, it was good games, well played. He sent in Steelix. I thought I already took down the Marowak, but that Bone Club wouldn't have taken me down. I still had the shield in the back, and there it was. So here we go. Round 4, me against Peace Love Hugs. We were on stream again. Both of us were undefeated at 3-0. He leads Haunter, which has Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, against my Drift Blim, so it's kind of who just shields first. I do beat him to this Ominous Wind, so he has to shield it because Haunter's defenses are bad. He's not using any energy. There goes, he just has to quick move me down, so he has 2 Shadow Balls almost ready to go. Just go straight for it. I shield the first one expecting it, and he swaps out into Marowak. And this is a Fire Spin Marowak, so it's not a good situation that I'm in, because just Fire Spin's going to just melt me down. And plus I didn't shield the Shadow Ball there. And then I get off the Earthquake. I probably could have just double crunched, which is what I should have done. And then I'm kind of left with poor Medicham in the back to fight an army of ghosts. Especially I don't have any shields. Well, no, I still had one, but I knew it was kind of over at this point, so let it go. So going into the second game, I knew I had to worry about the Haunter, and I know he has a Poliwrath in the back somewhere, and that's what I was kind of worried about, is countering both of them. I didn't click in the first game because we only used 2 Pokemon to beat me, and then it didn't really click in the second game that is about to happen, that he was using 3 ghosts against me every time. So I kept bringing Medicham in to counter Poliwrath that never showed. Now if I had Mawile on my team, things would have been a lot different. Didn't bring it for this tournament. So I'm just kind of flipping back and forth in my head, spinning, what am I going to do here? And instead of, I should have brought in at least either Steelix and 2 ghosts, or Steelix and Poliwrath at least, could have taken some of them better. But here I do at least catch his Haunter with Steelix, and I'm thinking he's going for the bait. Nope, straight Shadow Ball, almost kills my Steelix. At least I do get off the crunch to burn 1 shield. And then here I'm in a bad situation. We know what happens with this, so I do have to use my shield here. So there goes 1 Shadow Ball. I get off an Ominous Wind against here. So this is at least positive a little bit because of the Fire Spin. I'm going to have slightly better energy gain, and I'm not taking super effective damage from Fire Spin. And this is what saves me. I get the boost, so I'm taking less damage, doing more damage. Doesn't shield that. Brings in Haunter. It dies instantly. And then there goes the Dusclops, which I'm just like tanking the Dusclops' moves. I go ahead and shield this one, so at least I know I can get off 1 or 2 more charge moves here. So get to burn his last shield, and I had enough energy to go right into another Ominous Wind, which is enough because of the boost to take it down. So I didn't have to worry about Medicham in that round. So I was still thinking, okay, Poliwrath, Haunter, I gotta be able to take care of both of them. Didn't dawn that he ran 3 ghosts against me. My nerves were going. You can see my leg in that video. It's just bouncing. It didn't stop bouncing in all of these games, I'm pretty sure. I should have just led the same thing. You see me looking, and I'm just can't see the forest through the trees. Yeah, no, go back, you idiot. Click on the other team. But it doesn't. We were having lag issues. He was drifting all over the place. We couldn't. It took us a few tries every match to be able to get our matches going. So look, he already has his team picked. He already knew what he was doing. So I go with the same lineup I had in the first one, and then we have to pick again. And I think running Steelix with Driftblim and Alola Marowak, especially since I was running Hex. Would have been a lot better to counter this team, just because I would have gotten everything, quicker. Or even Dusclops, with Drifblim. And here I learned my lesson a little bit last time, that I know Shadow Ball is going to nuke my Steelix, so don't get out of there. I should have switched out here quicker, just to save my Steelix. But I was kind of panicking. So I get off another crunch. He's just storing energy. He knows he doesn't really have to do much. Just goes for the Bone Club because he knows that'll kill it. And then I go in with Drifblim, hoping for the same situation that happened last time, just for Drifblim to save me. And I think I'm able just to farm it down. Don't mind that notification. So here I go for another Ominous Wind, just kind of praying that I get another boost. I burn his last shield. Shadow Claw just does so much damage. So this will take out his Haunter, and we know that the Dusclops is going to be in the back. Now this is heartbreaking because boom, I have energy, I overtap, I don't get off this Shadow Punch, which cost me the game, because I would have taken his Dusclops down to a little less than half health. And obviously this is bad because it's just whittling away at my Medicham, and I'm able to get off the Psychic. So obviously it's not going to do a whole lot, but that would have been enough with these extra counters to take it. I mean, look, it's in the red. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. If I would have countered his team better overall, it wouldn't have been an issue. But still, overtap. So after that round, I go off and I fast Astro and catch his Dusclops with my Drifblim, which isn't really any different. Shadow Punch isn't as strong, it still does a lot. Ominous Wind I think is a little bit better. I mean, it looks about the same though, and Dusclops has more health. So I think I decided to shield that. Okay. I know that this game, my nerves are still kind of shaking after losing so closely in that last round. So I switch out my Steelix to go for the mirror match, and I know he has an energy gain, and we have even shields. So I'll let the dynamic punch go through. Oh no, he has 2 shields to my 1, so this is kind of in a really bad spot. Probably could have gone for an ice punch to get the shield, just like he did. I would have had more energy left to go for the dynamic punch a little sooner. I am able to get this one off. He uses his last shield. And goes ahead and uses dynamic punch, and then we have poor Steelix left in the back. I gotta go straight for the Earthquake. Let's do as much damage as I can, which again, double crunch maybe would have been better, but I'm able to kill it. So these power-up punches, Bite is going to be doing more damage now. And I think, yep, just able to get to Earthquake. So I come from behind in a bad situation, being down a shield, being behind on energy, and get the win in round 1. Then I catch his Cresselia with my Alola Marowak, which is cool. Goes ahead and switches out. I was able to not tap Shadow Ball and just do a Bone Club, hopefully getting a shield. I switch out into Drifblim. Kind of felt like it was going to be Ice Punch, so I went ahead and shield, build up a bunch of energy, see if he'll think I'm baiting, and go for Shadow Ball. right here I'm thinking, do I want to burn my other shield, take out his Polyrath? I go ahead and do it. Try to take out his Polyrath. Go for Ominous Wind. Doesn't shield it. And I think I'm... Oh, nope. Wasn't able to get to that other charge move. So down goes his Polyrath. And so we know the Cresselia's in the back still. Go ahead and try to get rid of his last shield with a Bone Club. I was at Shadow Ball already. And then he's able to get off this Shadow Punch. And I barely survive it as I'm getting off my Shadow Ball. So almost takes him down. He's got one sliver of health left. And then here comes in the Cresselia. I think it's a Roar Beam. So it doesn't do a whole lot of damage at all. So I'm just going to spam Crunch until it goes down. God, Cresselia. I wish I had one that I could try to use. It's so thick. And then one more, and there went the Cresselia. So I'm up 2 matches to 0, going into the third with Astro. Dusclops serves Polyrath, so again it kind of comes down to who shields. His Ice Punch and Shadow Punch are just kind of doing chip damage to each other essentially. So without Power of Punch, Polyrath doesn't have like a clear advantage just because it amps up its bubbles. Also, the way CMP switches around, it kind of decides who's going to have to either shield or win or lose. Because it was kind of flipping back and forth. We're obviously getting to the moves at the same time. He goes ahead and switches. I'm not able to get off the Fire Punch, which would have either taken a lot of damage or just, crushed it. So I'm not going to shield this Power of Punch. But now its bites are doing a lot of damage. And so I go for the Crunch, hoping to get a shield. I shield that just to kind of keep my health a little high because I know these crunches are going to be hurting a lot more now. I want to win this matchup, but I'm not going to. He shields that, so he's out of shields. And I only have Driftbloom left. I don't think I'm going to get to Shadow. Oh, I think I get the Shadow Ball. So he switches in his Polyrath, so I should have just gone for Ominous Wind. And then that's going to be all she wrote right there, so Astro gets the last win. So that was it for this tournament. I end up, tied for second and third place. Peace, Love, Hugs. The only one who beats me ends up winning. Thanks for watching.